In open-cast mining, moving millions of tons of earth is actually the easy part. The really hard part? Making sure you're turning a profit on every single one of those tons. I've spent my entire career helping mines do just that, and today we're going to break down how you can master cost control, moving from pure guesswork to a predictable, data-driven operation.
This right here, it's not just a nice saying. It is literally the difference between a profitable quarter and a board meeting you really wish you could skip. We've all seen it, right? Mines hitting record production numbers only to see their margins just evaporate. And the reason is simple. Production is a volume game, but profit, that's a control game.
So, where does all the money go? Well, it's not a big mystery. It's lost in all these small, daily inefficiencies that just add up over time. A few extra liters of fuel here, a bit more idle time there. Let's pinpoint exactly where these profit leaks are happening and, more importantly, how to plug them for good.
Okay, here's our game plan. We are going to follow a single ton of ore, right from the mine face all the way to the final product. We'll identify every single point where costs get added. Then, we'll get into the big one, the gap between your plan and what happens day to day. And I'll show you how a control tower view can completely transform your profitability.
Right, let's get to the root of the problem. These profit leaks, they aren't about big disasters. They're about the small, repetitive things that drift away from your plan. Think about operator habits, the condition of your haul roads, or blast fragmentation. That's where the money is either won or lost every single day.
Here's a fundamental truth. You cannot control what you don't understand. So let's build the cost of 1 ton of ore step by step. Every single stage of the process, from scraping off the overburden to the final dispatch, it all adds another layer of cost. Let's break it down. This is the journey. This is what every ton you produce goes through. It all starts with the most basic activity, getting that overburden out of the way. Then the real work starts. You've got drilling, blasting, loading, hauling, crushing. And each one of these stages has its own costs that stack up to create your final cost per ton.
And inside each of those stages, these are your big cost levers. Your stripping ratio is absolutely fundamental. It basically sets the stage for your entire cost structure. But then you get to your major variable costs, fuel, power, and explosives. If you get these wrong, your profitability takes a direct hit. I mean, even something that seems small, like tire wear, can have a massive impact on your bottom line.
All right, now we get to the absolute heart of the matter. This daily conflict between your meticulously crafted plan and the messy reality on the ground. Your mine plan is probably a masterpiece of engineering, but it's the minute-by-minute decisions made on site that truly determine what your costs will be. So your plan is built around what we call the standard cost. Now, this is not a budget, it's an engineering calculation. It represents what it should cost to produce 1 ton of ore under optimal, efficient conditions, the exact amount of fuel, the perfect cycle times, the precise explosive charge. It is your benchmark for efficiency.
Exactly. This is so important. A standard cost isn't some financial target that was dreamt up in an office. No, it's an operational benchmark that comes from the physical realities of your mine. It's the compass that tells you if your operations are on track, shift by shift.
But let's be honest, reality is never perfect. A haul road that isn't maintained properly? Well, that increases cycle times and burns more fuel. A bad blast? That gives you oversized rock, which slows down your crusher. See, these aren't just isolated incidents. They're the first dominoes to fall in a chain reaction that chips away at your profit margin.
Let me give you a real-world example. Diesel. Let's say your standard cost model says you should use 4,800 liters for today's haulage plan. But at the end of the day, you find out your actual consumption was 5,200 liters. Okay, so that's a 400-liter variance. Doesn't seem like a catastrophe, right? But multiply that by 30 days and a fleet of 30 trucks, and you've just burned through tens of thousands of dollars in unplanned costs.
This is where real management kicks in. It's not enough to know your costs are high. You have to know why. We call this variance analysis. Did the price of diesel go up? Okay, that's a price variance. Your procurement team needs to get on that. Or, did your trucks just burn more fuel to move the same amount of rock? That's a usage variance, an efficiency problem, and that's an operational issue the mine manager needs to solve right now. You can't fix a problem if you don't know where it's coming from.
So how do you close that gap between the plan and reality? You need a control tower. You need a single unified view of your entire operation, fed by real-time data that tells you exactly where you are against your plan at any given moment. It's a management cliche for a reason, because it's true. But in mining, the key isn't just measuring. It's the timing of that measurement. A month-end report? That's a history book. It tells you what went wrong last month.
By then, the money is already gone. You have to measure in real time to control in real time.
And this is what that solution looks like. Forget about clunky spreadsheets. We are talking about dynamic dashboards that pull data directly from your fleet management systems, from your ERP. They instantly show you your standard versus your actual costs, not just for the day, but for the current shift. You see a variance the moment it happens, not weeks later in a report.
So let's connect the dots here. How does a dashboard on a screen translate into more money in the bank? This is the critical step, turning all that data into actual dollars.
The transformation is profound. You go from being a firefighter, constantly reacting to problems that are already a month old, to being a pilot with full command of your operation. You see a spike in fuel consumption on your dashboard. You get on the radio to the shift supervisor, and you fix the problem within the hour. That is the difference between reactive and proactive management. And these are the outcomes this kind of control delivers. Your margins are protected because you've stopped all those daily leaks. Your decisions are faster and more confident because they're backed by hard data, not just gut feelings. And when the auditors show up, you're not spending a week digging through paperwork. You have a complete, transparent record of your entire operation right at your fingertips.
Now, building a system like this, it takes a very specific skill set. You need people who understand the geology of your mine, the mechanics of your equipment, the principles of cost accounting, and the technology to bring it all together. That is a pretty rare combination of expertise.
This is where having a specialist partner can make all the difference in the world. A firm like FatPro is built on that exact cross-functional expertise. They speak the language of both the mine engineer and the CFO, and they know how to translate operational data into financial results.
What they provide is really an end-to-end solution. They build the custom costing models that reflect the unique realities of your specific mine. They develop the Power BI dashboards that give you that real-time control, and they make sure the entire system is robust, accurate, and ready for any level of financial scrutiny.
So, the question for you is, are you content managing your costs by looking in the rearview mirror? Or are you ready to take the controls, plug those leaks for good, and manage your profitability in real time?
If you're ready to achieve that level of control, clarity, and confidence in your mining operation, FatPro has the expertise to help you get there.